Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the weekly show with Aditya, India's number one podcast, with India's number one host, Aditya, with new episodes coming to you live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In association with Dusra.net, the number one website in sports, education, and entertainment. This is episode 63 on the 26th of April 2019. The time by the studio clock is 10:45 a.m. and India's number one and only Hollywood reviewer welcomes you to a very special Avengers episode. The biggest movie of the summer has arrived in town. The last time we will see the 6 superheroes come together to save the planet from their biggest foe yet. The star cast, which includes Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk, the Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, the Ant-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, the entire star cast of the Guardians of the Galaxy, who have an important role to play in the context of understanding their foe Thanos. This is only the second time that a movie has been divided into two parts after the two parts of the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. In that movie too, there was a lot of anticipation as to how Harry would face his biggest rival in Voldemort. One can even add to the Avengers star cast Captain Marvel, the one who started the whole concept of Avengers. After X-Men and Justice League, this is the biggest conglomeration of actors coming together to star in a movie. From the god-like powers of Thor to the sorcery of Doctor Strange. Moving on to the two characters in Iron Man and Captain America who share a long history. Right from the time the concept of S.H.I.E.L.D. started, when Steve Rogers became Captain America after he was injected with a serum which kept him strong and young for over 70 years, and Tony Stark's father had an important role to play in that. The technologically advanced kingdom of the Black Panther, to the mysterious relationship between the Hulk and the Black Widow. Then add the characters of Ant-Man and Spider-Man. Two characters, just the perfect ones to provide the much needed humor in between. Just like Harry Potter, where Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 ended in anticipation as to what would happen in Part 2. The same way one looks forward to the conclusion, the end game, the final chapter of the Avengers as to how these characters would once again team up together. And when such characters team up together, there is bound to be a clash of egos, which has been an underlying but a subtle theme throughout the Avengers franchise. And then the one we saw between Doctor Strange and Iron Man in Avengers Infinity. A similar theme was seen in the X-Men as well as the Justice League when the two biggest egos came together in the form of Batman and Superman, along with Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Not only Avengers, the X-Men, Justice League has made one excitable when their franchisees come together for another legendary cinematic experience. But even The Force Awakens, when the star cast of Star Wars made an appearance and we saw Luke Skywalker for the last time ever in action. Thanos, who is the antagonist in this particular franchisee, joins the likes of Magneto, Darth Vader, Voldemort, and Lex Luthor as the biggest nemesis of our protagonists. Even though these movies are nothing more than fantasy and fiction, it is still important to enjoy them. As such, cinematic experiences are rare in one's lifetime. While some individuals have a preference of genres, someone like me, I do not have any preference from fantasy to reality to comedy to action to thriller. Every genre available on the planet, and I am the one for it. As I enjoy the plot lines, the characters, the relationship between the characters, how they have been formed over seasons. The final season of the Game of Thrones is another fantasy drama that has individuals on the edge. While the season 8 is in full swing and this is also the last season, I am in no hurry to watch all of them. I enjoy Game of Thrones as much as I enjoy Doctor Who, though these two genres are far apart as any genre could be. I am not a fan of the term masala. And when I saw the movie Total Dhamal earlier this year, which also had some average Indian actors, the entire movie experience was a disaster which I would want to forget as soon as possible. I enjoy GOT, as I said, the same way I enjoy Doctor Who, and the same way I have been enjoying the TV show Supernatural, as well as every Star Trek TV show that has been produced over the last 50 years, from the Star Trek the original series to the Star Trek the Next Generation to the Star Trek the Voyager, Star Trek Enterprise, and the latest Star Trek TV show which has been coming over the past 1 year. Self-driven cars. A fantastical idea once upon a time. A science fiction once upon a time, but now a near reality in the present age. It means just as we have an autopilot in the airplane, we allow the computer to take over the vehicle. As if human beings were not lazy enough with the advent of Alexa and Siri, now these self-driven cars might just put the human beings to become as the most laziest natural intelligence on the planet. Our fascination with artificial intelligence grows in huge numbers every hour of every day. But self-driven cars might just be the saturation point that humans needed. Let's forget the whole human interaction, because frankly that has become old and outdated. Are we ready to give control to an abstract thing? It may be a plausible idea. Why not? Because for generations we have been traveling in planes where we also have an automated computer controlled system, and we have been comfortable with it for decades. So why not have the same concept in the car? The biggest difference being that the car is firmly on the ground while the plane is thousands of kilometers above the sea level, going at the speed of over 900 kilometers per hour, and yet we still have that same anxiety whenever we sit in that huge metallic object. The solution would be, instead of giving complete control to the computer, we can have a system in the car where, if needed, the humans driving the car can also take over. Means, just the way we have a manual and a autopilot system in the plane, we can also create a similar mechanism in the car, so that if there is a need to brake and the onboard computer is not able to read that as an hurdle, so that the keen eyesight, the ability to brake, to identify objects and navigate its environment. While we are still fascinated by the concept of self-driven cars, over 3 decades ago there was a TV show called The Knight Rider, where the creator of the show envisioned a self-driven car where the human and the computer could interact, and when needed they could switch over. Hope you enjoyed this special episode. This is Aditya, India's one and only Hollywood reviewer, signing off. For the previous episodes, you can go to my website, thedusra.net, and there is a link for all the episodes on YouTube and iTunes. Please like and subscribe to my Facebook page and YouTube channel, and stay tuned for the next episode. So if you want to be a part of my show, please send your valuable suggestions and send your recordings on topics ranging from sports, education and entertainment on the email ID adityatherewriter@gmail.com. That is adityatherewriter@gmail.com.